I would now like to call on the guest speaker today, Sinn Féin MEP for Ireland East, Louth County Councillor Tomás Sharkey.
My good Paddy. Paddy's predicted me as an MEP, so I'm going to predict Paddy McQuillan as a Louth County Councillor for Drogheda West here today on Easter Sunday in Drogheda. All across Ireland this morning and all across the world in different parts, there are people gathering like we are here this morning to commemorate the men and women of 1916, the boys and the girls of 1916 who also went out because they believed in the proclamation, because they believed that a better Ireland was possible, and because they had hopes and dreams for the future. And that's why we're all here again here today in Drogheda. And that's why it's an honour for us all to be here, and especially for me to be in Drogheda today. Growing up in North County Louth, I often heard about Maureen O'Neill. I often heard of Ray Buckley, and I often heard of Ruth Churchill. But to actually be here with them on an Easter Sunday morning, it is a very proud moment for me as an Irish Republican, and to be along here alongside the young members of the Colour Party and all the members of the Republican movement here this morning. When we gather here today and we're commemorating the 1916 Rising and everybody who fought then and ever since then for the independent Irish Republic, we also mark the 90th anniversary of the first Dáil. That was the first and only since democratically directly elected Parliament of the people of Ireland. That first Dáil resulted from the efforts of those who fought in 1916, and it inspired those who fought in the Tan War of 1919 to 21. Sean Halpin, he was one of the brave young men who marched out in Drogheda in 1916. He's a successful candidate in the elections to Drogheda Drogheda Corporation, and he's taken from his home in Georgia Street. He's brought to Mordington Road, and on the 9th of February 1921 he was shot in the back by cowards. In 2009, Republicans remain committed to the same ideals of the proclamation, to the objectives of independence, unity, social equality that we proclaimed in the first Dáil. That, we believe, we know, was the first general election where Irish women had the vote, and it's no accident that that was a landslide victory for Sinn Féin. This year also marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of Na Fianna Éireann by Constance Markievicz and by Bulwer Hobson. Fianna Éireann became that nationwide organisation. Thousands of members joined up throughout the 32 counties. They played a role in the historic events, the gun running in Holt and Kilcool. They were involved in the 1916 Rising, in the Tan War. In subsequent phases of struggle, Fianna members paid the ultimate sacrifice in the cause for Irish freedom. Their cry was, Glenye in our grihe, Nyart in our ngeg, agus Bart the rear arm riher. Purity in our hearts, strength in our limbs, and true to our words. As Irish Republicans, we're proud of that call, and we carry that catch cry of Na Fianna Éireann with us today. That struggle for the united and independent Ireland has passed through many phases ever since 1916. In 2009, we as a Sinn Féin party continue pursuing the strategy to achieve the Irish unity, to achieve the establishment of a republic that we all yearn for, a republic based on equality and social justice. We as Republicans created the opportunities by being strategic, by being focused, and also by being disciplined. That same focus is now required for this phase of parliamentary engagement, because all down the years we've seen different phases. We've seen the mass mobilisations, the popular resistance, the military campaigns, setbacks, advances, tragedies and victories. We've seen internment and its censorship, and we faced death squads armed and directed by the British state. We've seen electoral gains, and we are now in parliamentary engagement. It must be done. It's a difficult, it's a frustrating phase, but parliamentary engagement must be done because the Irish people need it. We are the voices in our communities. We lead, we care, we work. We campaign for the people, be it Dom Wilton Imelda Munster, Paddy McQuillan, Matthew Coogan, Pierce McGill, Arthur Morgan, Keevin O'Kalon, myself, we work for our communities. This government has decided to close down democracy. They've refused to accept the will of the people on the Lisbon Treaty. And last week they announced the death of a national forum on Europe. They're only one small step from the cry of a totalitarian ideal, that it's easier to dissolve the people and to elect another. Let us all leave today knowing that we should dissolve a government and elect one that cares. The most pressing concern for Irish people today is the economic conditions that our people are being faced with. There are 15,061 people unemployed in Louth today. That's nearly double of what it was this day 12 months ago. 7,500 of those are in the Drogheda area. Drogheda has half of all the unemployed people in County Louth. So what we're saying is that right-wing economics has failed the Irish people. What we're saying is that we cannot let the people go through another bust like the one we are facing. This government is persisting in a strategy that is exclusively focused on cutbacks, when what we need them to do is to retain the jobs that we have and to create new jobs for our young people going into the future. The elderly are sick and they're left with no care, so that the bankers and regulars of tents can go free. Children go to run-down schools so that developers can go free. It was said of the old Pinochet regime that people were in prison so that prices could be free. In Ireland today, people are suffering so that capitalists can be fat, and that is wrong. So it wouldn't be good enough to replace one right-wing led coalition with another. There would be no difference, because the golden rule of right-wing economics would remain. That golden rule, those who have the gold make the rules. We as ordinary Irish people, we reject that rule. Jim Larkin lit the fire that blazed in 1913, a fire that forged the struggle of the Great Lockout and a trade union movement that grew from strength to strength. James Connolly led the vanguard of that movement in the Irish Citizens' Army, and he played a pivotal role in the 1916 Rising. Organised workers, organised labour movements, defeated conscription in the general strike of 1918. The ideals of Connolly were enshrined in the democratic programme of the First Dáil. The First Dáil that the main parties actually forgot about. So of course they've already rejected the ideals of the First Dáil. So ever since then, workers, trade union movements have been crucial in working alongside us Republicans to try to make Ireland a better place. So as we look at Easter morning, and Easter even before there's such thing as Christianity, was recognised by the human psyche as a time of regrowth, renewal, regeneration. We as Republicans will focus on regrouping, regrowing, regenerating, reorganising, because let one thing be very clear. As Republicans, we do not focus on holding on to political seats or retaining political seats. Every seat on every council and in the Dáil and in Europe is won as of new at every single election. Let's leave here this morning focused on having a stronger team for Drogheda, a stronger team for Louth, a stronger team for the people of Ireland, so there will be a gubber, a taku, and a bua le chéile. Gurmila Mayo Guptaler.
Thank you very much, Tomás. Just want to thank everybody who helped